There I am. Hello, hello. I'll tell you what, there's so many buttons to push to get on here. Hi, Orville Nation. I'm so glad you're on. So nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to explain what we're going to do today. Then I'll just see where we're at as far as getting everybody on. I'm here. Today, we are going to talk about that wonderful, incredible phrase, so above as below. As above, so below. Anyway, I don't know if you know, but this is a text that is so old, and it comes from the Emerald texts, which were from the Atlanteans. And I find it, and by the way, those are wonderful texts that you can listen to on YouTube. But here's the thing, isn't it funny that that one phrase, as above, so below, has permeated all the spirituality and agnostic and so many beliefs, and it's only one phrase, but that little phrase holds so much. That little phrase, as above, so below. We just got 107 people joining. Popular topic, huh? As above, so below holds the key to all transcendence. And by the way, just so you know, my name is Alena Chapman. I am someone who helps guide people into that wonderful place of as above, so below. I am the one who helps you gain heaven on this earth, basically. And I'm also known as a mystic or a shaman, depends who you talk to. Most say I'm a shaman. I call myself a shaman practitioner for purposes of just sounding correct, I guess. But other than that, I have a book out called Hello Soul. It's how I attached to my inner divine and then turned this life in. It's my own transcendence, right? So I would love to have that for you. If you're on and you have questions, make sure to comment. And if you like the material, make sure you subscribe. Comments always help because it helps the numbers and it helps me to get out further into YouTube. So I would love that. So let's chat, okay? And come, really make sure that you're writing in the comments, because I will not know if you have questions or not if you don't write into the comments. And I would love to answer any questions you have. And Orville Nation, I see that he's here and he's already writing in class. Thank you for the applaud. Yes. So let's get started, all right? As I said, hi there, Angular. Hi, welcome. I hope you enjoy this topic. As I was saying, as above, so below. It all starts with us going above, all right? Going above. When we go above, what do I mean? It's a transcendence. It is opening your mind, usually done either through meditation or, as I prefer, through shamanic journeying. And when you shamanic journey, not only do you find peace, but you connect. Now, does everyone just connect just like that? Well, wouldn't that be wonderful, right? It doesn't work that way. Here, I'm going to move that out of the way. I got so many toys around my computer, I can't even move. You have to do some work on yourself because it's your belief system. And I always tell people when they come to me that it's what your mind will allow you to open up to. It is an opening up of the mind. Some call it the God mind, some call it the pineal gland, some people call it the greater mind. It doesn't matter. It all stems from your subconscious mind, who you believe you are, and what you see the earth to be and how you fit into the earth, okay? And this reality. It all starts with that, because what you believe and what you are willing to accept will open up all your mind. And when you open up your mind, it's like a passageway to another universe. It's not like, it is. It's really funny. I'll explain it more, and you can see all this on YouTube, I know. I'm going to explain it in a way that I have always understood. And that's more the shamanic principle. Shamanic, if you ever look, believes in three worlds. And there is a tree that goes up to the highest, to what we would call the light or heaven or that wonderful place. And then the trunk comes down with some of the branches into our reality here on earth. Some of the branches even come down. That's very key. And then the roots go down into the underworld. Where's the underworld? Well, some people like to call that hell. That's not really in the shamanic belief. It is a place where I used to call it the gray zone and still do. It's where souls that do not go to the light end up in this kind of very weird place. Hello, Ro. I'm so glad you're on, hon. This weird place where everything is kind of backwards. There's a pull of negative energy. There's a lot of unhappiness and sorrow, but it's not really hell. They're just lost and they're scared to go to the light. So these are the three worlds in the shamanic. Now, as above, so below means what is above should be below. But how can you get as above to be your below in your reality here and now if you don't know what is above, right? And the only way you get there, like I said, is through your wonderful meditations and your shamanic journeys. And when you see, well, and what I'd like to talk about today is so many spiritual people have experienced that above. And if you haven't experienced that above with all the people that are on right now, that's what I do. I connect you. I help you to open up that beautiful mind of yours and I help you connect. And as for myself, I now live between. I live between that wonderful world and this world. And my life really does echo the as above, as below. And that's really what I wanted to talk about. So many of us have experienced the above. We have journeyed up there. We have met the angels. We have met our guides. We have met everything. We find the peace and we start to let go of our past and we start to heal, right? But here's the thing. Somehow many of us skip that healing part. And I think what has blown me sky high and why I'm talking about this is that there are so many people who have had this opportunity, who meditate 2 times a day, who have done a shamanic journey, and they still, some of them have even done the mushrooms, right? And that is an awakening in itself, a big one. But they still live lives that do not echo the as above. That whole thing, as above, so below, means what is above is here on this planet. And as you start to see, it's because everything between the three worlds, between everything on this world, is totally from one source. Whether you call that God, it doesn't matter, but it is one source. And that means everything above, below, in the middle, and everything involved, every person, every tree, every little insect, everything is from one source, and we are all connected. That's humongous. That is one of the biggest feelings of, I had an awakening to this. I'm trying to think. I think it was like in 2012. And it was where I had it with this world, basically. I was going through some really tough things that even I could not handle. And I'm pretty strong and I could not handle it. And so I got into my car and I drove and I found a stone fence, and I love stone fences. So I followed it up to an old monastery with some very, very old, beautiful trees. I mean, the most gorgeous trees. And it had a place on this little hill with these trees surrounding it that I could look out over the town. Well, I went to that spot. I kind of just flopped myself on the ground and I just said, I've had it. I've had it. I cannot do this. And I had my eyes closed and I felt this little breeze pick up. It was a really hot day. There was no breeze, but I felt a breeze pick up and start to just kiss my cheek. And with my eyes closed, I could feel the trees leaning in. I don't know how I could feel it. I just could feel them. It was very strange, but I could feel them. And when I heard this cawing, I looked up and there's this hawk going around above my head. And then when I looked down again, around me were all these like insects going around me clockwise, none of them getting on me. It's just incredible. And that's where I had my awakening, that we are, hi there, Sci-Fi Mombi. Hey, I had my awakening that everything is one, because all this living life around me was feeling me, was feeling my sorrow, my unhappiness, and was responding. How could it do that? Isn't that fascinating? And yet, and I was responding back. And as I learned to grow, I could even hear them as I grew in my own spirituality. It's all one. It's all one. That's the biggest transcendence. Now, once you learn that, then you have to understand that the above is this part of this reality, and so is the below. It's what do you choose? But once you experience that wonderful reality above, why are you choosing to be below? Why do you choose to be below, where all that sorrow is? And why? Why do you choose to keep on this earth the toxicity, the codependency, the unhappiness, the drama, the fearfulness? Oh, all these things. I'm reading some of the texts. All these things that we allow ourselves to be. I have talked to so many people who are so enlightened, and yet their lives are filled with all these it doesn't align. They are living in fear. Right now, we have so many people who know that they can choose, but they choose the fear. They choose to stay in those codependent, dark relationships. They choose to let drama lead them instead of the light. Now, how is that hard? Is it hard to do that? Is it hard to stay in the light? Not really. It really isn't. And I want to stop just here real quick. Does anybody have questions on this? Is everybody just attentively listening? Let me know, because this will guide where I go from here. I'll wait for those comments. I'll keep talking, but I want to see if the comment takes. Sci-Fi Mombi, I'm glad you're here. Orville, I think you're probably getting stuff done, but I'm so glad you could come. Thank you so much. Here's the thing. When we start to transcend, we've got to also take a look at ourselves. And what is the bonus of that? Number one, we will bring above as below, but here's the biggest thing. Our lives will transform into a place of wonder, a place of peace, a place of love, a place of this high understanding. And it's really funny when you start to do some of the work. Hi there, Inspiration TV. Once you do a little bit of the work, and it's not even work, it's opening yourself up. It's healing the parts of you that need to be healed. It's looking back at your life and saying, what did I okay, why am I in this toxic relationship? Why in the hell do I put up with this? And why am I staying in a codependent place? What is it in me that needs this codependency? Ah, that's big. And if you get quiet, here's years off of therapy. If you get quiet and you go in what I call an observing stance, meaning you're only observing your past. You're not in it, you're not suffering from that trauma again, but you're just observing, why am I in this codependent relationship? And you just observe and then send that beautiful little, that memory, so much love. You will learn the secret. You will learn why. And once you learn why, that's when you can leave. Hello, mystery. Ooh, I love that code. That's so cool. I love that. That's when you can leave. And it's like your flower, which is you, just opens more and more. And before you know it, you are starting to bring the light into your life. You are starting to live the true thing, as above, below is below. These little things of what we choose to do or what we think we have to do are not the light. And as soon as we realize that and become brave enough, it's bravery to say, okay, I'm going to look at this. Why do I date people who don't treat me well? Or why do I have this issue with money? Or, hey, Maria, or why do I have this incredible addiction? Addiction. Addiction's a void. I know I have an addictive personality. My gosh, I've never been on drugs per se, but I'll tell you what, I knew I had an addictive personality, so I funneled it in other ways. And now I learn I don't even really need the addictions, right? I don't need my little addictions. Mine were little. There was like Diet Coke and which is a killer in itself, and lattes. Yeah. But see, I knew. You know yourself. You know. And so you have to figure that out for yourself, how to deal with that. But an addiction is a void. It really is. I remember how I got started on Diet Coke, for heaven's sakes. I was singing. I was very, very nervous. I did not feel, I wouldn't say worthy, but I didn't feel I was as good as as my friends, right? I had this, even though I was the lead, for heaven's sakes, but still I didn't feel it. That's big. And so what that Diet Coke did, it gave me a routine where I could hide in my corner, think about what I was going to do when I got on stage. It also cleared any dust out of my throat, and I could get on there and sing. It was this little routine thing. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I need that Diet Coke to get on stage, right? Oh, I need that Diet Coke for this. And it became an addiction for me. And I had it for years. And luckily it wasn't heroin or something, but it was an addiction. And I knew I was falling for it. I knew I was an addictive personality, but it was me. It was the void in me thinking I was good enough, right? And so I'm filling it with something. Well, it doesn't matter how big your addiction is. It all comes from what is inside you. What in you do you feel you're lacking? And the same thing that you're lacking inside, once you look at it and start looking at it. And I would say, get a professional, either a therapist, look at it with somebody a coach, that if it's not too serious, a coach who can move you forward. You got to find what works for you. But you can always have some help. This light is too light. But still, when you conquer that, because it is your self-worth, it's what you think about yourself and your world. And when you're always trying to fill a void in yourself, it's very hard to connect and see the above. Do you understand? And if you can't see the above, how can you make it the below? So it's time to kind of look at these issues. But at the same time, and this is what I like to do, is because I understand, because I've been there, is once you connect, and if I can get you to connect to that above, which I usually always do, then making it here on earth, it starts in baby steps, but more and more you gain this incredible strength, because now you know there is an above, and you know that they're supporting you. And when you know that wonderful everything, because it's one source, no matter who you are talking to in the light, no matter if you're talking to a tree, doesn't matter. It is one source. And once you know that, and you know you have that guidance, my God, with my wonderful guide, who I adore, who you may call an angel, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, there are days I just go up, I look at her, and I fall in this wonderful water I see in my mind and say, this has been one hell of a day. And to have that personal connection with above, how can you not create the above in the below? You just can't. I mean, you can't not do it, because you have now a personal connection. You have something that you have opened up to. And that, my friends, is the transmutation. That is the true magic. Because from that end, it just keeps growing and growing, and your strength gets bigger and bigger. And you start to see in your life, you get rid of the things that do not serve that. Do not serve what you know is your given right to succeed. Your given right to celebrate love. Your given right to be happy. And you won't let anything else get into your way. That is as above, so below. Do you understand? And that's what the Emerald texts show us. We are not made to suffer here. This is not another level. The tree of life, which we got from the shamanic beliefs, okay, is all connecting through every level. It is one tree. And the tree represents the one source. Do you see? So that's what you're opening up to. You are opening up to that big giant connection. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Miss Mystery. And then anyone else who's on here, because we've got lots of people, but no questions. And either you are listening with total intent, or you are totally freaking lost. And I would love to hear any kind of question or a comment, because that will guide where I go from here, because I really do want to offer you something for your own life. You know what I mean? And help you to understand this, because this is big. I know that this phrase is so used in so many intentions that we do, whether it's a spell or a prayer. We want that as above to enter into our below. But it really is us awakening to that as above, that higher level, the light. And then all of a sudden, instead of a prayer or a spell, it just is. And then your mind is totally open to all of it. That's what it's about. It is really funny when you start to understand that as above, so below. The magic that you see on this plane, once you really get a grasp of that and you've let go of all that drama, which I don't understand why you keep drama. Lots of us are addicted to drama. Ooh, I should touch on that. What is addiction to drama? Drama. Drama is, we're taught drama. Every show has to have a drama. You can't just fall in love, be happy. You have to have a drama that, that separates you and then brings you back. Every romantic thing is about that. Okay, so we're already ingrained with trauma. Even from when we were a kid and some of us watched Scooby-Doo, there was always trauma. You know, there was some kind of drama or trauma that would get them into finding the ghost. It was always something that was an obstacle between what they wanted and what they wanted to achieve. You see? And so, thus, we always think there has to be something going on. That is, we can't just be happy. We have to suffer through something to be happy. We can't just make happiness in our workplace that we work. No, we have to suffer to get some kind of happiness. But the problem is, we get caught up in the something to make us happy, and we caught up in all the dramas. Hey there. Hello, hello. Thank you for the heart. And amen indeed. Amen indeed. Orville Nation. So that is what I see so many people who have already experienced that transmutation to some level. They go back to the old beliefs of this society and how we grew up in that drama kind of scenario. And it becomes very addicting. Well, how can it not? I mean, seriously, it's kind of like bred into us. And it's so silly. And when you realize that just today, now that you're just hearing it, you have the choice to say, am I creating drama? Am I creating drama because I'm bored? Am I creating drama because I'm worth more than what I'm doing right here, right now? Possibly, right? And drama usually is some kind of conflict you're evoking, like, or some kind of problem that you are slipping into the scenario, either by your interest, by doing something to hurt someone else or cause angst between you and another person, right? Or buying the toys. I see people that are very bored sometimes and they're buying all the freaking, they finally find that they have money, but they're still bored. So what are they doing? They're buying the boats. They buy the jet skis. They buy the pools. And they get all the toys. And then all the toys just sit there in their yard. They're doing something to fill what's in here. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So look at yourself and say, okay, am I bored? Am I creating drama where it doesn't need to be? And if I'm bored, then am I in the right place? What's wrong in my life that I am bored? I think I might start a creative project, maybe. Maybe I'll try something a little bit different that stretches me. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try something. I'm trying pottery, but I think I like the sculpting. So I'm trying that. Am I good at it? Oh my gosh, no. But was I doing it because I was good in it? No, I was doing it because I wanted to try something new and creative. Because as I try something new and creative, it opens my mind. And when I open my mind, that gives me the possibility to transcend. See how it works? It's getting rid of what you don't need in your life so that you can open up to something bigger. It's all you. We always think we can get that transcendence by going and getting somebody else's opinion or somebody else telling us about it. But really, it is right here, right now, for us to be able to open up to. And it's just, I love to say the flower naturally opens, which is the mind. The flower is the mind. It's funny, Buddha did that. He always showed a lotus flower, you know, the opening of the lotus flower. It's getting rid of all the stuff that's keeping it shut. And when we truly ascend, I think that's the only time we can say that we are living a spiritual life. Because now we are as above, so below. So when you're out and you're looking for someone to give you guidance, and I'm not saying I'm the end all, I'm not. But when you're looking, like if I'm looking for someone to read tarot cards to me, I'm going to look for somebody who lives their whole life as above, so below. I'm going to look for somebody who is filled with that higher wisdom. If I want to talk to somebody on the other side, which I don't, I can do that. But before I opened up to this, because there was a time when I didn't open up to this, and I still would look for someone who I knew was not clouding up their mind with garbage of drama, toxicity. I looked at how they were living. And then I knew whether they were connected to something higher, to source. And those are the only people I would gain my knowledge from. Those are the only mentors, the shamans and the sages that I went to, that I would even allow enter into my world, and where I could feel free to ask questions, because I knew that they knew, and I wanted to open myself up when I was learning. Yeah. And to go to anyone else, I'll let you know a secret. Since I was young, I have always been able to open up the light for spirits that pass that are scared of going to the light. And I've had some incredible moments in that I am so thankful for. But what do I want to say about that? If people are in that zone of not going to the light, and you go to somebody who is in that, thank you, Orville Nation. And yes, people do fill voids in many ways. And the guy in Orville Nation was the one who got me off the Diet Coke by constantly saying, "Are you drinking a Diet Coke?" But let me go back to this, and if I can remember where I was, because I lost my place a little here. Oh yeah. So if you are going to somebody who is says they're a psychic, but they're drawing from just somebody who is past and hasn't gone to the light, you might as well go next door and ask your neighbor. I'm serious. Because that spirit has been just floating around here and in the underworld. It has no higher meaning. It doesn't have the highest understanding. It has not joined with source. As Meister Eckhart said, the soul may become God, but the God does not become the soul. Right? He was a mystic in the 11th century. So you really have to know who you're going to. I don't know about you, but I don't need to know what Joe Schmo, my neighbor, who happened to pass yesterday, thinks about my life. Or thinks about what I need to do in this next part of my life, right? I want to go to somebody who is higher up, who has the guides of wisdom and all-knowing, and is of all one source. And that's really what it's about. So I guess I'm on today to say, are you living as above, so below? And if you aren't, what are some steps that you can start taking? One of them is you got to take a look at your life. Just take a look. Don't be critical. Criticism never helps anyone. Sirjan Singh, I love this. Did I say your name right? Sirjan, am I right? Singh? Okay. Anyway. Canada. Oh, hun, I love Canada. I have so many friends in Canada. Thank you for coming. Yes, beautiful, beautiful country. Yeah, I love it. And hello, Angular. And I love the pink hands. Very cute. So are you guys getting anything out of this? Are you enjoying it? I should ask you. But take a look at your life. That's one. And do it in an observing way. Don't be harsh with yourself. We don't, it's why? Don't be harsh with yourself. Treat yourself with respect. But take a look and say, is this what I need? Do I need someone who doesn't treat me well? Do I need a job that doesn't even appreciate me, that just treats me like a freaking slave? Do I find myself going with friends that I don't even enjoy, but I feel like I have to? Take a look. Do I not feel I'm worthy of a better life? All these things are worth exploring, and do it with gentleness and kindness, because that is from the light. Never do we have to be harsh. And once you start to, and this is the cool thing, guys. Ooh, transmutation, change into talking less, muting. Who is that? Oh, I want to see who that is. I got to see. Oh, yes, yes. He's muting. Okay. So when you do that, when you start looking, then everything goes open a little bit more, open a little bit more. And get with someone who can connect you. If it's not me, someone you trust. Because I swear, in the hardest part of my life, after I connected and saw what was above and saw the support and the love and the love for who I am in all my self, whether that's my well, let's say imperfections. Do we have them? They're learning, right? We all have our stuff. But all of that, yeah. Once I see that the total me is accepted, and not only accepted, but given the grace, the opportunity to actually commune and to be guided, that's incredible. And I'll tell you what, when you gain that, all of a sudden, this world becomes so much easier. And you can look at things and get feedback. It's not like you are on the journey by yourself anymore. You aren't. Well, you're not anyway. But to have that knowledge, like acknowledgement in your life, that's why I live between the two worlds. And then when I need to, for clients and stuff, I'll go down to that other world. But I prefer, I prefer this world and above. And that's where I like to live, because I am totally guided. And that's where all the wisdom comes. Everything I tell you comes from what I'm hearing. Isn't that an incredible way to live? And I'll tell you, when you live with that understanding, all of a sudden, Manny, oh, I like that. It's good to see you too. I'm so glad you're on. Very nice. When you are guided like that, you don't fall for all the crap. Rupesh. I'm terrible with names. So if I get them right, star to me. So glad I caught your streaming. Thank you. I'm glad you did too. It's a welcome. Welcome. If you have any questions, let me know. What was I saying? Oh gosh, I have to keep my train of thought, guys. Where am I? Yes, when you are getting guided, then when these, what do I want to say, alarmist, these people who always are alarming you, look at what we got now. Now, it's like timed. You'll see that it's even timed. And it's been about 2.5 weeks. And now they've set out this new one about April 8th. Yes, we are going to have a solar eclipse. Yes, there are things that happen. Yes, you can see it following with all the bad weather. And I know. But it doesn't mean it's going to be a world calamity. And I have it by, it's going to be a change. But I just did a channeling for my newsletter for my email list. I do channeling for them. And all that channeling, it's nothing to be totally scared of at all. Lots of wisdom. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, hon. When instead you start to see this world and how everything, you don't have to worry because you have it. You have what's meant for you firsthand. Isn't that a great way to live? And isn't that, my gosh, I guess what I have to ask you, and this is probably the biggest question, why are you scared of peace? Why are you scared of just living in peace? That is a big question to ask yourself. And I can honestly say, living in peace is the most beautiful place to be, because that's where all your creativity comes. It doesn't come when you're under stress. It comes when you're at peace, because it's God or source given. And it gives you clarity. It gives you a way of listening to others and understanding the deeper meaning. It's where all your gifts will bloom. When you have peace, that's when your gifts bloom. Everything starts to come. It's in peace that I write, not in hectic. I can't write in hectic. I've written 3 books. I cannot write when everybody is just giving me, and I allow it, the drama. I have to be in peace. If I'm creating any kind of music or painting, I like to do all that stuff. Gardening, I love that. It has to be done in peace. This is all the creative process. And I also find all the true answers to my questions when I am in peace. So again, I will ask you, why? Why are you scared of peace? And if you're not scared, then why aren't you trying to attain it? Right? Thank you, Cloudy and Stormy Backup. Oh my gosh, that is one name I have to ask. How did you get that name? That is so cool. And I love that you love it. And it is relevant. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're listening. Share it out to people you know, because this is the time. It's a very important time. You know, guys, we are in a time when this eclipse is bringing in a new way. It's bringing in an incredible new way. And those that are ready will find that transmutation is going to be even easier. So it's cool. It's time to start, guys. It's time to start, because the world is changing. Joel Enoch. Oh, I love that. Hi there, Alena. Your insights are enlightening. Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Right now is the time, because you're going to find there's this old, I think it's Navajo. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But on this rock, I don't even know when, way before anything. And I think it's out in New Mexico or Arizona. But the Indians wrote of this, it goes like this, these 2 lines. And this bottom line here is totally jagged, and it's in rocky, you know, it's just hard. And the one that goes up above is the transcendence. Well, this wonderful eclipse, the solar, is right at the beginning of that. And we are now splitting. You're going to see a real split of this one reasoning that has this higher transcendence, which has a line that is smooth and it's just on smooth rock and it just soars. And I guess I have to ask you, where do you want to be? Because both will be available. It's just, which reality do you want to live in? And when you're in that wonderful line that goes up, those are the ones that bring as above, so below. And if you're in that rocky line down below, you're going to live in that rocky life down below. And it's not as above, so below. I really need to hear this today. You are so welcome. Funny Lala comedy. Ooh, I love comedy. Thank you for being on. I'm glad you need it today. I'm so glad. And let me know if I can help you in any other way. I love being able to listen. Oh, Mohib. Okay. I love your name. Don't always have it. Thank you so much. And let me see. Thank you, Veronica. Oh, I love it. Thank you. And Rudy, thank you for being on. And I was about to read it, but I lost I was going to read that for you, but I'm glad you're all on. So guys, I actually have an interview in exactly 10 minutes that I'm supposed to be on. So this live is a little bit short, but guys, I do these every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And this is the Mystical Muse show. So I also have this on podcast, so you can listen again on Audible and everything else. So just go to YouTube if you want. But if you want to be, here on these lives, subscribe to my channel. I would love it. And also, yeah, I would love to see you on my lives because you're just wonderful. Danny, thank you, Alena, for sharing. You are so welcome. And if you want to learn more or you want help in your transcendence, which is what I do, is go to alenachapman.com. Check out. Everything is so reasonable. I'm serious. I made it that way on purpose. And I'll tell you, I have some new classes starting where that's what we're doing. Some of you are on here. Yay. I'm glad you are. You'll see what we're going to be doing. And I would love to be able to help you too. But most of all, ask yourself those questions, please. And just see. You'll start to understand that there is a better way just by asking those questions. And my gosh, that is a good first step. That's a very good first step. All right. For all of you, as above, so below, I wish that for all of you. And I love having you on. And may there be peace and love in your life without drama and all creative and all manifestation and all joy. Namaste, my friends. Love you all. And thank you for being here. I couldn't have had a better crowd. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Donnie. I think I pronounced that correctly. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.